Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Now, you will see that the grid before us today is 11 by 11, and that means that lurking under the fog, we have, well, a puzzle type whose name I couldn't remember. I had to look it up, and it's a deconstruction puzzle, which means we have to find the 9 3x3 boxes that are hidden here. But while I was doing that, I looked up how many times we've done a deconstruction puzzle on the channel before, and I found it was 25 times, and I was rather surprised. I was less surprised to find that of those 25 times that Cracking the Cryptic has done a deconstruction puzzle, 24 of them were by Simon, and the one by me was over 3 years ago. So clearly some imbalance is occurring there, and today we'll begin to rectify that, although, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Simon has a predilection for these puzzles. It may be that I'm just not very good at understanding them, and we will see if that comes true. You can check the video length straight away. I will go through the rules in a moment. I think they're really interesting in this one, but we'll see. Don't forget that we have, of course, a huge Fog of War app as our latest app amongst our apps. And that is the last one we had out, obviously, and there are 50 brilliant foggy puzzles in it. So do check those out if you enjoy the Fog of War genre or any of our other apps. There's also Sven's Sudoku pad and our merch on the links under the video, and you can find your way to Patreon, where every month we have a patron reward, of course, oil and water in April by blobs and crossword videos, connections videos, all sorts of extra treats. We commend it to your attention, and this puzzle is the first link, however, under the video. So I'm going to get, it's by Visumation, who I don't think has featured on the channel before. Could be wrong about that as well, because I was busy checking deconstruction, the word that I didn't remember. Now, let me try and explain how the rules work. So there are 9 3x3 regions in the grid which have to be located by the solver. So for instance, that could be one. Oops, no, that could be one of them. Each region will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. In the whole grid as a whole, no row or column can have a repeat digit in it. Clues outside the grid, in this case, indicate how many cells belong to regions in the direction pointed to. You'll have worked out that there will be quite a lot of empty cells in an 11 by 11 grid where there are 9 3x3 boxes. In fact, the quicker among you will have worked out there will be 40 empty cells. But, for instance, on this diagonal, 3 of the cells will be occupied by digits within regions, and 2 of them won't be. A digit in a cell with arrows indicates the, this is within the grid. So a digit in a cell with the arrows indicates the sum of the digits in the cells n steps away in the directions pointed to, where n is the digit in the cell with the arrows. Empty cells do not contribute to the steps count. So let me do something imaginary here. Let me say that was, let's say that was a region, and this was another region, and that was another region. I mean, this is certainly possible. If the digit in here was a 3, say, I'm not going to write that in fully in case it cleared fog, that would be adding the cells 3 steps away in this direction, so there, which might be a 1, and 3 steps away in the other direction, but ignoring any empty cells, so 1, 2, 3. That 3 would be successfully adding that 2 and that 1 to give the total in the cell. Now, there's another rule. In the finished solution, the directions pointed to by clues outside the grid must sum to a multiple of that clue. So let's go back to this 3 diagonal. The 3 digits that do appear on that diagonal will sum up to a multiple of 3. Finally, digits separated by a black dot are in a 1:2 ratio, and fog will clear from surrounding cells when a digit is placed correctly. So it's not dynamic fog, it's the older style regular fog that appears in the fog app. Give it a try. I don't know what we're going to find. You may be put off by the video length, but that may just be because I'm not used to deconstruction puzzles. But I've restarted my clock. Let's get cracking. How on earth do we start? So I'm intrigued that there are question mark clues outside the grid. Okay, the point of those is obviously they can show any number of cells, but they're also going to be divisible by the total in the cells. Oh, that's weird. Okay, I don't think these clues outside the grid are any use to get us going, are they? How are they any use? Knowing that 2 cells are coloured there, or are in regions. Okay, I have now learned something from that. This cell is in a region, because you couldn't have one region. If this cell wasn't in a region, that cell and that cell would have to be in regions to make the count up to 2. But that won't work because those regions would overlap and they're not allowed to. Okay. Oh, also, this tells me that this cell is not in a region, because if it was, that region would be 3 by 3. And there'd be 3 cells on that 2 clue. Okay, these clues are a lot more valuable than I'd realised, but this cell up here is not in a region now. How are we going to show those? So yellow for not in a region is what I'm going to try and do. And I'm going to try and colour... Oh, I'd forgotten. This is because Simon does these and I forget. Right. What I do know is when you have an 11 by 11 grid with this deconstruction rule, there is something very useful to know. And it is by thinking about rows 3, 6 and 9 and columns 3, 6 and 9. And the point about these columns is really quite interesting. The 9 regions of 3 by 3 must use the intersections of these columns. And I will colour them up. And then I'll tell you why I believe that is the case. Orange, let's have red, and then dark green again, and then blue. Okay, so I believe that these will all be in separate regions, and that is because as much as you try and push, say, purple and bright green to the right, they can only occupy the last 6 columns. Like you could have them in those sections, but this green, the top left box must be somewhere up here, lingering around here. It could be as far inland as that, or as far out to sea as that. But there's lots of other positions it could be in. But they all include this cell, and you can try shoving these boxes as far as you like away from the top right, the top left. But you will never find a disposition that allows this not to be in a box. And therefore, I'm going to call this dark green box, box 1, and this violet one, box 2, and this bright green one, box 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they must use those 9 cells, which is a really quite interesting starting point for any 11 by 11 deconstruction. Now, we've worked out this can't be in because all 3 cells would be green. I think after we've done that, we've worked out also, I think, that this cell must be in. So then that gives us a bit of a 2 by 2 here. If that cell is in and that cell is in, the ones connecting them must be in their square region. So we've got a start there. Now we've got a 3 clue in this column, in this diagonal, and that's going to use 1 there. And wherever this green is, it's going to use a second one in the green at least. It could even be a third one if that was the green section. But I don't think that is very helpful anymore. So I'm going back to having found a couple of clues that are helpful. Oh, this too. This is a long old clue. Right. I'm going to get my pen tool out. That is a long diagonal to have anything going on in it. So, right, I'm trying to sketch a diagonal line there, and I've failed in a couple of places, but let's get it right. Right, that long diagonal is only going to have 2 cells that are coloured at all on it, and we've already found one of them. Oh, well, that's interesting. Now, what about these 3 diagonals? If that was in, it doesn't really help. 2 of those would be in, and then we'd need, well, at least one of these 2 is in. Oh, no, I was going to say that has to be in box 6 or box 8. That's not true at all. Okay, I don't like the 3 clues at the bottom. What about this 1 clue? Right, that is good. This cell can't be in because it would have to be part of dark green that would form like that, and there'd be 2 in. So that cell's out. But either that cell is in which case this is part of the region, or that cell is in. Again, this is part of the region. So we've got another 2 by 2 in green. And then it must either be that region or that region to make the 1 work. Now, I'm getting really nervous now because we're absolutely running out of clues that I think are any use. Once you get to 4, 4 and 3, it's just so uncertain where the regions are to me. So I'm going to have to go to the arrow clues. Well, they all appear in row 3, column 3, row 6, column 6, and row 9, column 9. The interesting thing, as I described earlier, since these cells are all in, there must be 9 occupied cells in row 3 and in row 6 and in row 9, and the same in column 3, 6, and 9. So this has a lot of leeway to where it could be pointing in terms of the number of cells. However, I suppose the digit in here could be a 2. It could be pointing at 1s 2 cells away in both directions. It can't be a 9 or an 8 in this cell because 2 cells have already happened in the row. There aren't 8 more coloured cells to come. So it can't be 9 or 8. So this number is somewhere between 2 and 7. And what about this one? Both up and down. Ah, well, that's interesting. Right, this can't be more than a 4, but it has to be at least a 3 this time. This is the one to start with, maybe. Although that's pointing to 3 cells, so well, I'm starting with this one. Now, why can't it be more than a 4? Because it's pointing both up and down. And therefore you have, if this was a 5, you'd have to have 5 coloured cells above it and 5 coloured cells below it. And that would be 11 for the column, and that cannot occur. Even though there are 11 cells in the column, they can't all be in the boxes because we're only using boxes 2, 5 and 8 in this column. So this is either a 3 pointing 3 steps up. Somewhere up here there would be a 1, and somewhere down here there would be a 2. This business about empty cells not contributing to the steps count is quite complicating, I think. Or it's a 4. So it's if it was a 4, it's pointing at a 1 and a 3 in those regions, 4 coloured cells away from this cell. Okay, let's have a look at this one as well. Now, I guess this has to be pointing to at least a 1 in each direction. So the digit in here is at least a 3. But again, it could be pointing up to 7 cells away, or maybe even more in this case, because we haven't sketched in any of the box. could be pointing 8 cells away. In each direction. No, it can't actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 would take us to an unused cell. This is the least limiting information we've ever found. Now, okay, let's have a look at this and let's think about this line. I haven't thought about that enough. This cell can't be pink, because both of those would be pink in box 5. So that is not in box 5. Yeah, we're going to have to keep lots of cells off this line. Oh, maybe this 3 matters around near the red. Oh, it does. Right, how could this be off the line? No, yes, if this was not coloured, then the other 3 cells in this diagonal are coloured. Right, and then this cell would hit that cell. I don't know whether it would be red, box 7, or light blue, box 4, but it would have to come in 3. Every time you colour a cell, there are 2 others in the row and the column that need to be coloured, and from the perimeter it must go in. So one of these 2 is in. No, one of these 2 is on the 2 clue. And that's great, because that means all the other cells on the 2 clue are not in. Actually, that's so important. I just want to recheck my logic here. So either this cell is part of this 3 clue and is the second cell on the line, in which case I think we have to have that shape of red. Or if that is not in this 3 clue, then we have regions here and presumably here. So actually we're very limited on what red can be. I will come back to that. But first of all, one of those 2 is on the 2 clue. So all of these are not. That is how we start this puzzle. This is huge actually, because look at this green region. We know exactly where that goes now if these cells aren't in it. It's got to be like that. Look at the pink region, the central region. This is huge. We can't touch those cells, so we know it goes here. And the red region, now I just said there were 2 alternatives, so let me just recap those. If that is off the line, then oh no, that's on the line. Yes, if that's off the line, these are all real cells. So then red is there and blue is there. That must happen. If, however, that's on the line, it has to be red. It's the only red cell on the line, and red will be there. So red must include all of these cells at least. Its only 2 options are that 3 by 3 and that 3 by 3. Oops. Right, anyway, pink being here means we can fill in all of these cells as orange, all of these cells as dark green in box 8. This thing, well, we can do a 2 by 2 there, because wherever the 3 by 3 is, you know, there are at least 3 possibilities here, but they all include that 2 by 2. So we've got a massive start now. That's huge. Now, this is off center. There are 6 coloured cells here. There are only 3 coloured cells north of this. And therefore it can't be a 4, it must be a 3. And that clears fog and is right. And it is pointing, well, I don't know where it's pointing 3 north, but 3 south, it's pointing to that cell, which is a 1 or 2. That's not, actually, no, this could be on the line. We do know something about purple. We know a 2 by 2 region of this violet region up here, because of this yellow cell, basically. Wow, I mean, that was huge. Right, this 2 is done. That's yellow. Yellow is my colour for not in anything. There are probably other cells I can make yellow now, but I'll get to them when I get to them. This, now we've revealed a new arrow clue. that can't be, yeah, I don't know where 1 or 2 is, somewhere somewhere in those cells. No, it is one of those two, the 1 or 2. But that is using up the 1, 2 and 3 for the column. So this digit is at least a 4, but it's at most a 4. Is it? Yeah. These cells, look, those are yellow, they're not in. So none of those are in. That's the sort of thing I was talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that is a 4. And it's adding that cell, which is 1 or 3 or 2, to that cell, 4 away, without counting any missing. This was 4 because we don't count the yellow. And this is 4 because there aren't any yellow. So that could be a 2-2 pair. We have to bear that in mind. Now, can we do these other arrows a bit more now? Oh no, let's look. 2 cells there, but not a 3rd yet. These 2 can't go into a 3x3 region. They're yellow. So this must be making up that 3 diagonal clue. And it's violet, therefore. And we've finished off violet suddenly. This cell is yellow because it can't be in anything. These 2 can't get into a region. This one could. This could be part of bright blue. This one can't, though. That can't get into a region. So we've got quite a lot of our 40 yellow cells done already. Nearly half of them, I think. Now, where is this pointing and where's it? Oh, now we know what cell is 3 north of the central 3, and we've got a 1 or a 2 in violet up here. Have we got the 4 count done there? Yes, that's absolutely right. The 1 count up here means green is either there or there. We knew that, I suppose. Oh, this 4 count. What's going on that one? This might tell us. So we've picked up 1 violet, 1 pink, and 1 orange so far. We're either going to have 1 more green cell or 1 dark blue cell. We're not going to have 2 more dark green cells. So this is not in, because then you would have this, and that 4 clue would have seen 5 cells highlighted. So those are not in. The green region is now there, region 1. That's the 1 clue that is divisible by 1, knowledge bomb, but that's the rule. And now these are yellow, because we can't fit in any more cells there. This blue, it can't go into those 2 anymore. So it does come out here. And we've got lots of that done. Now, this 4 clue again. Oh, we're going to get another orange. Sorry. Oh, hang on. I've made a mistake here. I coloured those yellow. We don't know if they're orange or not. Sorry. I coloured them yellow when I was colouring these yellow. That was a mistake. They might not be yellow. Oh, has that informed? Yeah, I've messed up. Oh, bother. When did I colour those yellow? Because that was erroneous. Right, they're not yellow yet. So let's go back and think about, yeah, this is very different now. This 3, that could include orange here. These 2 cells can't be in. That's okay. But the 3rd cell is either violet there or orange there, and I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I don't do these things deliberately. I just mess up. Now this 4, okay, let's think seriously about that. We've got orange and green once each. We either get 2 violet or 1 violet and that cell. So we do need 1 more violet. So violet doesn't go down here, or we wouldn't get any. And I think that means these cells are not in a region. Yeah, because violet then would go down there. So they're yellow. That's okay. These are violet. And now we are getting that cell. We've got 3 cells marked. We're either getting that as violet or that as orange. Okay, and I'm doing this properly this time. Now, what about this 4 now? What's happening with that one? Let's check it out again. Actually, well, we've got violet, pink and orange once each. We've only got one more cell to get. Okay, that does still rule out this green because that would give us 2 more cells. So that is ruled out. We've got the box 1. There it is. But we don't know about violet, we don't know about orange, we don't know about dark blue. We do know that these 2 cells are not in a region because they can't be now. Or this one. It's violet either left or right. This bright blue, we do get 6 of that. So we've got 3 boxes fully complete. 5 boxes of which we have a 2 by 3 and 1 2 by 2. Now, just going to check this again. We've got orange, pink and violet once each. We're going to get 1 more cell. Now, that does mean we're not going to get both of these. So they're not both dark blue. And that means dark blue is not in that region. And it must include these cells. So we've upped that to a 3 by 2 as well. Now this 3, is that interesting? We've got 2 of them done. I really don't want this puzzle to get to the point where I have to do some numbers because there aren't many that I can do, I don't think. Where I have to do some numbers before I can finish the regions. That's just going to be confusing. That's yellow. I don't know. I mean, we're only allowed 1 of those cells. I know that. We're allowed 1 of these cells for the 4. Now, how's this 4 going? Oh, we're allowed 1 of those and 1 of these. Oh, mess. It's hard. Right, let's look at this clue. This cannot be a 3 because that is 3 away. And you'd already be adding 3. I've only placed 1 digit right in the center of the puzzle. What are we, 22 minutes in? This is going to be vicious. So, this is adding. Oh, this was the 4. That's still true. I took that out because I had to go backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this 3 is pointing to, actually, we know that's 1 or 2 because it's 3 steps north from here. So that's a 4. That does clear more fog. And we get 1, 2 or 3 there, 1, 2 or 3 here. That's still the case. Now, this couldn't be 3. If it was a 4, it's hitting that cell. That would have to be a 2 because that's its minimum. But then this is meant to be getting a 1 in the row 4 steps away and a 1 in the column 4 steps away. It seems incredibly unlikely. And that 2 would be picking up a 1 in one of those cells and a 1 in one of those cells. Ah, okay, here's why that won't work, and it's a bit complicated. But if that was a 4, that would be a 2. The 1 in one of those cells would make that a 2, but that 4 would be pointing to a 1 somewhere along here. And, sorry, let me just stop that alert happening. There we go. My apologies about the noise. Right. The 4 there would need a 1 that was further away than that in one of these cells somewhere. And that would make this a 2, and the 1 in violet would make that a 2, and that's impossible. So that's not a 4. It's at least 5, which is unsurprising but needs to be proved. Ah, but how many cells can we go up this way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can only be counting up to 5 cells away in the northwest direction. think that's right. Is that right? So I get to, this becomes a 5. It must be. It is. Okay, good. And it's okay, I need to know what that's counting now. So this 3, I know that's counting those two. This 4, I know that's counting those. Okay, let's call them A. Let's give it a letter. We'll call them A. This 5 is counting B. Well, it's going to pick up 3 orange there, 4, 5. It has to be the second green cell it's looking up to. So it's counting that cell. Now this way, I don't know. Well, I almost know, but I don't know. But in this direction, it's counting that cell as B. And we're only counting to 5. So that is 1, 2, or 3. Every one of them must be at least a 1. 3 in green, well, that's this, I don't know. I don't know where it's counting to. Now I've got this triple bloomin' arrow digit again. Right, it can't be, it's counting at least 3 cells, so it's not 1 or 2. Can it be counting 1s 3 cells away? So it's 3, 4, or 6, I suppose. It can't reach any further than that. It can't, if it was a 4, it would count that 3 and then a 1 north and a 1 west at least. Impossible. So if it's a 3, it would have to be counting a 1 there, a 1 in one of those cells, I think. 1 somewhere here. Oh, look, that's right. This is I'd wondered when we got the rules whether there would be any black dots that were 0 and 0 as a 1 to 2 ratio. This one isn't because it's got a cell here. So these are coloured. Now, I don't know what they're coloured, but they're coloured because we can't have a 0 ratio here. We must have digits on both sides of the black dot. And therefore, this 5 is pointing through those 3 cells, either to that or that. And if this was a 3, it would definitely be pointing as to a 1 there, a 1 in one of those, and a 1 there. The 2 1s would clash. That can't be a 3, that's a 6. Oh, here we go again, another triple arrow. What kind of madness is this? What madness is this? Okay, this can't be a 1 because it would count as 6. It can't be a 2 because these 2 would be in the same box. Well, it can't be a 3 because, oh no, it can't be it can't be a 1 or a 2 because that's just nonsense. We're adding 3 cells. If it was a 3, those 2 1s would be in the same column. If it was a 4, it would be adding that 4. 5 and 6 appear in the box. I think this is going to have to be a 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is. Didn't clear any fog, I think, because we've cleared the fog here. But 7 is going to be the total of, well, we know it's that cell in this case. Actually, what have we done? I started doing B's for the 5s. So let's look at 6s for C's. Now, we're in cell 2 if we count upwards. Plus 6 is cell 8. That must be here. It doesn't matter where the extra orange cell is. That must be C that this 6 is counting. Now, looking this way, it's far from as clear cut because I don't know where the shapes are. Looking this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, it is that cell, is both B, it's in the 5 count and the 6 count. And then the 7 count has to be counting C, so it's, let's call that D. D is up there in the northwest corner, and 7 this way is going to be in one of those. Now, can I work out where red and green are? I really need to, don't I? This 3 clue, it's got 2 already. It's either going to get blue there or red there. And each of those is going to provide 1 to the 2 clue. Is this obvious? I can't see it. Oh, we now know that, yeah, hang on, that is coloured. So those three are coloured. That is not coloured, it is yellow. So those are all yellow, and we know where orange is. And now that's going to ramify onto this 3 clue. We've got the 3 coloured, so those are yellow, these are violet. That, hopefully that's made the 4 clue work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that tells us that this is yellow, so that's outside. So these have gone blue, these go dark green, and these go red, and that colours the second thing on this long stringy thing down. So that's yellow, and now we know where light blue is. And I've found all the regions. That is absolutely incredible. That little knockoff from that 3 did it. Oh, mad. Okay, now I can fill in my B's, C's and D's. B was 5 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a B. C was 6 to the left, was the one I hadn't done. That's here. And D was 7 to the left. That's here. Is it? No, that's 8 to the left. What have I done wrong? Oh, we didn't... No, sorry. C was here because the 5 moved 1 column to the 6. Sorry. C is there. D is there. Those are not the marked cells. Right. So 5 is counting no more than 3 in each cell. So that's... If one of them is a 3, the other 2 have to be 1s. The 6, we could get up to 4, but that one's 1, 2 or 3. Let's say this could be up to 4 and this could be up to 4. The 7, I suppose we could be up to 5, perfectly logically, in the D cells. Now, is that going to help? There is this extra rule that I'd forgotten about for a long time of the diagonal pointing clues from outside the grid having to supply multiples. I could have got rid of that line, but actually it might be useful in calculating those 2 cells have to add up to an even number that's divisible by 2 at some point. Anyway, can this be a 2? Let's have a look at that. This would be a 1, and that would be a 1. Ah, okay, here's another thought. What am I meant to be adding the products, sorry, the sums of 5, 6 and 7? So that's going to take those 3 digits, that one twice and that one once, that one twice and that one, and to a total of 18. Or maybe I add the 2 4 bits as well. Okay, so everything I've added is worth 22, but a couple of the cells are counted twice. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 3. It doesn't come to an unhelpful total. I don't think that's it. That's annoying. That was a really good idea. We've got this black dot. I do know it can't be a 1, 2 pair because that would break that cell. I think that's all I know about it. That can't be a 6, so that can't be a 3. I mean, there's not much else. These 3 have to add to something divisible by 3. Now, there's a modulo thing, isn't there? To add to something divisible by 3, you have 3 digits from the same modular set, like 369 or 258, or 1 from each modular set. And you can't have 3 from the same modular set because 5, 6, 7 have gone in the box and they represent each modular set. So this is 1 of each, and therefore that's 1 of each modular set. And I don't know how that helps at all. Those 3 being divisible by 3, I don't think this is relevant yet in any way. Okay, I'm going to have to think of something else, which is a shame. And it's got to be to do with these cells. Maybe those ones as well. All of these cells, there's a lot of pressure on them all to be quite low. Oh, and of course we have other pressures that aren't as obvious. So if you consider green, orange and blue as 3 boxes, those two, the 3 boxes will clearly contain 3 sets of the digits 1 to 9, and each of column 10 and column 9 will contain one of the sets of the digits 1 to 9. And that's going to mean, by the law of leftovers, that is a group of digits from 1 to 9. So that might help up here. So violet, dark green and bright green, those 9 cells, it doesn't help, are one set of the digits 1 to 9. In red, bright blue and green, those 9 cells are one set. So B, C and D have to be different from each other. That B, that C and that D. I mean, I don't know, does that mean anything to you? I don't think so. They're not even being added by the same arrow cell down here. Okay, can I rule out those 2 being 2? Then we would need a 2 in blue down here. Then neither of these could be a 2. Oh, let's look at this one. I haven't looked at this enough. It can't be a 3 because that digit which would be counted would be more than 4. So that's impossible. If it was a 2, we would have 1s in these positions, and I feel like that's impossible, but I don't know that yet. I don't know. I don't know how we do this. I mean, the other digits in column 6 are from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that any use to man or beast? I don't think so. Apart from the factors, we've used these clues outside the grid completely. There's just nothing else to do from them. So I've just got to figure something out from these arrows in the grid. This is monstrous. Oh, well, that can't be pointing 7 away because there aren't 7 cells to it, right? If there were 6, it would be adding that and that to make 6. That's actually quite plausible. If it was 5, it would be adding this C clue again and a digit here. If it's 4, it's adding those 2. 3 is impossible, we've ruled it out. 2 would be, oh, I've miscounted on 2. It would be adding those 2 as both 1s. That would make this a 2 and this a 1. I'm going to have to do some intricate maths with these things. I just don't know how to do it. I'm sorry, I think this is very hard. 5 is B, 6 is C, 7 is D. I'm sure it's no coincidence that we've had a 3 arrow, a 4 arrow, a 5, a 6 and a 7. Although this is, well, it might not repeat because it might be a 2. If that was a 2 pointing at a 1 here, then that would be 3 and that would be 4. That's not going to work because this 3 and that 4 would require all the other arrow clues they were pointing at to be 1s, which would include both of these. Okay, so it's not a 2 there. I mean, that's very unsurprising, but at least it's done. If it's a 4, it's adding either a pair of 2s in these cells or a 1 and a 3. I mean, things just got completely less interesting 2 and 1 took out 2 low digits. 4 doesn't really do that. It's going to create a low digit there and take 1 out here, but I don't know. Okay, let's think about the possibilities for 5. So if that was a 3, we would have 1s here and here in the B cells. Now, what would that do, if anything? We'd make that a 2, so we'd get a 1 there as well. We'd have 1s in these positions. This is if B in box light green was a 3. That's what we're focusing on at the moment. I tell you what, it would stop. It would stop the 6. No, it wouldn't. I was going to say it would stop the 6 being able to use 1s. Oh, I'll tell you what. Okay, can this be a 3 in the sum for the 5? The answer then is going to be no. It's going to be no for a quite elegant reason, actually. If that was a 3, these would both be 1s to make the B count 5. But the 6 would be counting 3 up there and would need a 1 and a 2 in different positions in the bright green and the red box. And if 1s had been used already, it couldn't get a 1. So that is not a 3. There we go. We've reduced that digit down to 1 or 2. Hurrah! If it was a 2, the other B digits would be 2 and 1. Now, is that interesting? We'd have lots of 2-1 pairs going on. And the 6 would be pointing at one of them up here. I don't know. I can't rule that out so easily. Can I rule out a 3 here? That would create 2 1s in these positions. One of which would be being used by the 6. I'm really struggling to see what the obvious next move in this puzzle is. I'm sorry, it's pretty complicated. Oh, if that 4 was pointing to a 1-3 pair, this digit would be potentially 2, well, it would be 2 or 4, but it would be contributing to both the 6 and the 7 total. Actually, can this be 4 contributing to the 6 and 7 total? I bet it can't, because the 6 would then need to be hitting 2 1s, and the 7 would need to be hitting a 1 and a 2 in those positions, and it couldn't do that. Right, this is not a 4. So now we have a 1, 2, 3 triple, at least 1. 1, 2, 3 triple. I mean, it's not going to do anything, but it does exist. Okay, let's try a 3 there. It's not going to be as harmful. However, it would force those to be a 2-2 pair. Let's think about this being a 1-3 pair. Then that forces this to be a 2. And this would be 1 or 3 as well. This would be a 2. So can the 6 be 2, 2, 2 that it's pointing at? I bet it can't. Because then the 5 would be getting a 2 up here and would need... the 5 would need a 1-2 pair. Yeah, okay, the 6 can't be 2, 2, 2. Because the 5, which would be getting the northwest 2, would then need a 1 and a 2 there, and it can't get another 2. So that can only be a 2 if the other things the 6 is pointing at are 1 and 3. Let's think about that. That would have to be 1 here and 3 here. Come on, do something, be spectacular. That 1 is part of the 5 clue. And we've got a 3 here. It's also part of the 6 clue. So what we're positing here is 2 there, which requires now 1 there and 3 here. Right, the 5 is using that 1. It can't get a 2 here. Oh my goodness, it won't work. This is beautiful. Right, if that was a 6 and this is a 2, we've worked out this green BC would be a 1 and that would be a 3. But that 1 would be being used by the 5, which would then need its other 2 cells to add to 4. But we've got a 2 here and a 3 here, so they can't be 2, 2. Oh wait, could they be 1 here and 3 here? And the answer is no, because you'd get a clash of 1s in row 2. That's just insane, but it works. And that rules 2 out of this cell. Oh, this is hard, but it's fair. Because once 2 is ruled out of this cell, these 2 can't be a 1-3 pair and must both be 2s to make this 4 clue. And look, that cleared fog, it was right. And we get a new arrow clue, which is going to make me weep. Now, hang on. First of all, where's 2 in blue? Or where's 2 in this column is the simpler way of looking at that. It's got to be down here in blue, and that's not a 2 on the black dot. Now, okay, what is this? It's got a maximum of 5 cells it can see. It's not 2 or 3 by Sudoku. It's not 1 because it's adding cells. So it's 4 or 5. If it was 4, that would be a 3, and this would be a 1, which it can't be. So that's a 5. That will clear fog. And it's adding that cell. We'd better call this E, because although I've got rid of A, we've been going up each time. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's adding that cell. Now this clearly can't be a 3, so it's 1, 2 or 4. And to add to 5, this is 4, 1 or 3. That doesn't feel like it was quite as helpful as I was hoping for a new clue that might have cleared everything up and absolutely didn't. What are we, 47 minutes in? This is going to be a long one. This is going to be a long one. That 4 is done. This 3 is not blooming done. Okay, now we've got the 6 is getting a 1 or a 3 there and a 1 or a 2 here. We know it can't be 2, 2, 2. So I was going to say, can it be 4 here? And it can still be 4 there if these were both 1s, which would actually ease the pressure on the 7. Yeah, let's have a look at the 7. If the 7 was adding a 3 there, then these other D's add up to 4. How do we feel about that, gang? Not too bad. Oh, hang on, we've got a 2 in that box. So this B is 1 or 3. So this 5 is adding that and that and that. If this was a 3, these would both have to be 1s. And then okay. No, let's do it the other way around. If that was a 1, this is a 3. And then the 6 needs a 2 and a 1 from its C components. There and there. They would have to be a 1-2 pair if we were looking at a 3 up here. Then the 5 would be starting with a 1. And it could have a 1-3 pair. It couldn't any longer have a 2-2 pair. Oh, but that's the shared digit. So it could have a 2-2 pair. Oh, bother. Okay, I'm losing my ability to reason at this point. That's annoying, but it does happen when I get tired. Okay, that 7 is looking at the D cells. Is that any use? Maybe I could stop any of them being 5s at least. If that was a 5, this would be 1 and that would be 1. And then B would be adding yeah, that wouldn't work. This can't be 5 because both of those being 1s means this B would be adding a 3 and a 2 plus something else. That's no good. So that's not a 5. I mean, it's the most minor advance. Okay, if this was a 5, let's try and get the same minor advance. The 2 Ds would be 1s in these positions, and the 5 would be adding a 3 there, but it would need a 1 in red box, which it couldn't have. So that's not a 5 either. So the 7 is definitely adding a 1 somewhere, unless it's 2 plus 2 plus 3, which would require that to be 3 and these two both to be 2s. That doesn't really... Well, no, this is important. This is important. Because we know that the 5 is adding a 1 in at least one place. In either box 1, box 3 or box 7. The 6 is having a 1 in one of the same boxes, although it could be a shared cell with the 5. That's what I hadn't thought of. Oh, can this be a 4? This has changed a bit, hasn't it? If it's a 4, it's adding that cell to that cell. They would both be a 1-3 pair. That would be quite interesting, but not impossible. If that was a 5, we're adding that to that, which would have to be 2 or 4. That would really impact this a bit. Maybe not enough. And could it be a 6, adding something? No, 1, 2, 3, there and there, which would have to be a 4 or a 5 there. I don't know. I think this is about the 1. Oh, I haven't thought about the factors rule for a long time, but I don't think it's doing anything yet. Those 3, no. No, it just isn't. It's still, we're still with you, sir, at the back of the room with these arrow clues. That's done. This is not actually done, but we know where the 1-2 pair go. Okay, we've worked out this 6 is not doing 2, 2, 2. In fact, we've got a 2 there. Now, oh, we've got a 2 there, looking at that cell. Oh, that's a 1, sorry. Oh, and this is not 1 or 2, and that's right. Right, things got real there for a second. This 5 is adding 1 there and an odd digit here and an odd digit here. In fact, these two B's are a 1-3 pair. They've got to be. The 6 is adding an odd digit there and an odd digit there and an even digit down here, which is 2 or 4. It could still be 4. The 7 is adding 3 or 4 there. Now, if that was a 3, this would have to be a 3, and that would be a 1. And the 6 surely would have a problem here. No, that would be a 2. How about the 5? That would be a 1. That would become a 3. My God, that works. That's really annoying. Okay, let's try actually the other way. Let's try 7 having a 1 there. Because now the 5 is having a 3 there. So the 5 needs a 1 here. That has impacts around the grid. We get 2 and 1 and stuff. So, okay, the 7 getting a 1 here means the 5 needs 1s here and here. That becomes a 1 in column 6. Let's just think about this. The 6 is now getting a 1 and a 1. That would get a 4 in the C in red. That feels possible, actually. And the 7 would be using 1, 3, 3, that works. All 1, 4, 2, my goodness, they all work. Okay, let's go back to thinking about this as a 3, which did seem less plausible. The C down here is a 2. The 5 is getting a 3 there, so that's a 2-3 pair. And the 7 is adding 3, 3, 1. This might fail because of the 4, 5, 6 clue. That's bizarre. No, it can't fail because of that. There's some other clue, isn't there, that I was looking at? Maybe there aren't. Maybe I've looked at all the clues I can look at. Oh, in that case, I'm just stuck. No, come on. Power through. This being a 3 seems incredibly unlikely. So for the 6, that would be a 2. For the 7, that would be a 1. And that would have to be a 3. 3, 2, 1 down here. You know, there is more to it. There is more to it. Because then these E's become... Neither of them can... If this is a 1, neither of those E's can be a 1. They have to be 3 and 2. That's it. That's quite interesting. Oh my goodness. I don't think this works. This doesn't work for an extraordinary reason. Right. This doesn't work with a 3 there. And it becomes about 3s. That has to be another 3. We've obviously got one in the center of the grid already. Now, because this makes D down in the bottom a 1, that becomes a 3. But the 5 clue needs a 3 there, and now there's nowhere to put 3 in violet. That's incredible. Okay, but it works, it makes me happy. This is not a 3, this is a 1. Here we go, and in cleared fog, it's right. That's a 3. Now, this 5 is adding 3 and 1 and 1. This 6 is adding 1 and 1. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, and 4 here. This 7, oh, we don't know. Well, this is not allowed to be 1 or 4 anymore. It's 2 or 3. The 7 is adding 1 and either 2, 4 or 3, 3. I don't know which is which. But surely we've done something. This 5, I don't know what these are. I must be able to use something I've just done here. It's going to make me cry if I can't. That 4, have I never seen this clue? Oh, it's just been revealed. That's why I've never seen it. It's adding that, let's call it F, and that. Now, this can't be a 2 because we've highlighted 2 in one of those cells. So it must be adding a 1 and a 3. And in the column, it must be adding a 3. That's a 3. Look at that. Fog. And that's a 1. Oh, look at these stuff going on. Oh, in fact, Sudoku. 1, 1. We need a 1 in the bottom row. It can't be there because it's adding 2 cells. So it's there. That was part of E. So E is a 1 and a 4, making 5. This is happening now. 1 hour in. This is beginning to happen gradually. Now, there's a 1 in pink in one of those cells. Oh, that 1 has made this a 2. That makes this a 1 at the top of the grid. I might be able to use the diagonal factor clues at some point. This is now not a 2, clearly. This is either a 4-8 pair or 6-3, which it could be. Now, what's this doing? What is this beastie doing? This is, I don't know, it's not 1, 2 or 7. Oh, it can't add more than 5 going north. So that's 3, 4 or 5. If it was 3, it would have to be a 2 there and a 1 there. That would break this cell with a 3 there and a 2 there, so it's not a 3. If it was 4, it's adding that one and something here. That would be 3 and 1. If it's 5, it's adding this, which would be 2 or 3, to that, which would be 2. So that would be 3. And this would be 2. I don't even know. Well, okay, if it's 4, that's a 3. Oh no, that doesn't clear up where 2 is in the row at all. I thought it was going to. Didn't. Okay, I don't know what that is. Do I know what this is? No. I feel like I've got enough done to do something. That, if it's a 4, it's adding 3 there and 1 there. That looks terribly plausible. If it's a 5, it's adding 1 there and a 4 here. That's not happening, so it's not a 5. If it's a 6, it would be adding 4 or 5 there, 4 there, so we could have a 2 here. I suppose that's possible too. Can that be a 1? Yeah, I think it can. So everything is nearly done. This 6, oh, hang on, this 6, yes, that's 1, 1, 4, that's done. This 7 is the one that's not done. We're making those two Ds add up to 6. How are we doing on 3s? That could be a 3. Ah, that's so annoying. 3 in orange is somewhere there. 3 in blue is somewhere here. Yeah, I don't know how we're doing on 3s. I feel like... Oh, well, there's got to be a 3 in this row. Oh, it's... Oh, hang on. If this was a 3, no, that would be 4 and 2. But if that's 3, that's 3. That's so crazy. Okay, 3 is in one of those cells. I'm not going to mark it because it messes with the D, but it is in one of those cells. 1 is done in these boxes. 2, there must be some Sudoku to do here. There must be some available. Come on. Mark. Just think it through carefully. Oh, there's a 4 in orange that's in one of those cells. Is that? It's no use to me. There's a 5 in green, which is in one of those two. Still hoping to stumble across some useful Sudoku. There is a 1 in this column, and it is in blue. No, I don't know what. I don't know which. There's a 4 somewhere in this row, this column. That means one of these 3 is a 4. So this could be a 4, adding that and that, which would have to be 1 there and 3 there. That would stop this being a 4, because that couldn't be 1 anymore. So if that's a 4, that's not a 4. So if that's a 4, that's a 6. And then it's adding 2 here and 4 here. I can't see that there's something wrong with that. Okay, look at it the other way around. If that's a 4, ooh, that's a 3 and that's a 3. This is a 1. And this is now not 4, therefore. This is 5. Ah, This has failed. Let's just figure that one out. Oh, I've got a 4 there. This is obviously a 6. Oh, it hurts to be so daft. Is that 4 right? When did I get that? Oh yeah, that's from this 5. Oh, it's huge. That's 6. This has to be 4, because it can't be 5, because we can't put a 1 here. We have to put a 2 here. That places 2 in blue. That's 2 in the blue box. This is a 3, and the 7 needs a 1 and 2 3s. And that's done. And all my lettered squares are done. Now can I do some Sudoku? Oh no, I could look at this. This is going to work for me. We've got to use, well, it might not work for me. Yes, it will, because those are all different. Right, we've got to use 9 in that. And then we've got to choose from 3, 4, and 8. And we've got to be divisible by 3. So we can't use the 3, because there isn't another modulo 3 digit. So that is 4, 8, 9, and this is a 3 on the black dot, and that's 6, and that's 3. Oh, this arrow we haven't done. It's either, well, it can't be a 5 now, because that digit is not less than 5. So that's a 4, and it's adding 3 there, and 1 here. And now that places 1 in blue. Right. So that 489 was actually useful. Now, up here, these are divisible by 3, but that's less useful so far. It must be Sudoku we can do now. 4, 4, we need a 4 in blue. There it is. That 4 in blue takes 4 out of this cell. That has not been able to be 4 for a while. Have we got all the 4s done? 3, 6, 7. Well, that's not 4. One of them is here, and the dark green 4 is in one of these cells, and that's a law of leftovers thing. We do need a 4 in this row, so it's got to be there. Oh yes, it's an oddity of deconstruction puzzles that you can be left with 8 4s done and not know where the last one goes. Actually, we do, because there has to be a 4 in that column, because there's 9 complete cells in it. So there we go, 4s are done. 1s, how are we doing on 1s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We must be able to do the 9th. It's in orange. It's got to be in this column again. You can't do it just by looking at orange. How are 2s going? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only done. That's strange. I don't think we can finish them, you know. Pink, who knows? Violet, who knows? Light blue, dark green, just don't know. Right, that pair has to be divisible by 2, so that's even. Oh, and it sees 2, 4, and 6 in the column. That's an 8. We've got 3 and 9 left to place in the column, and the boxes tell us what to do. We've got 2 to place. No, we don't have 2. We have 5 to place in bright green. There it is. That's a 6, 7 pair. This is 8 or 9. These form an effective law of leftovers group, so these are from 6, 7. I mean, that means that digit's the same as that, which is unexciting. The 3 group has to be divisible by 3. Oh, all that's telling me is that this is 6 or 9. I wanted more. Okay, the 4 group. This has to be divisible by 4. And we've got a 1 and a 3 already. So they are. So these two now have to be divisible by 4 together. It's either 7, 9 or 6, 6. Yeah, that's right. So this is now a 6, 9 pair, and that's an 8, and that's a 7. And this is 9, and that's 8. And that is Sudoku, my friend. These are from 5, 6, 9. In this row, we've got 7, 8, 9. Now, these two have to be the same parity to be divisible by 2. We still didn't finish that bit off, but we will do that. Okay, this question mark is a 5. There are 5 coloured cells. These ones add up to 16. So these two have to take that total up to 20, not possible. 25, they could add up to 9 if they were 2, 7. Or 30, no. There could be any pair, 5, 9 or 6, 8. No, I need to do more Sudoku rather than think about that sort of thing. Let's just have a look at this 4. I mean, divisible by 4, that's not easy. This divisible by 3. We've got 1 from the 2, 5, 8 group. It could be 5, 2, 8. Or it could be 2, 7 and 6 or 9. That's not helpful. Oh, bother, I'm going to have to do more Sudoku. Okay, we need a 3 in this column, so it's got to be there. That cleared fog. That didn't tell me anything. 5, 6 and 9. That one's 5 or 9. These are from 5, 6 and 9. This box, that can't be a 6 anymore. So one of those is a 6. 6, 3, 4, 2. This is 5, 7 or 8. Oh, this 4. I did finish that off. It was a 3 and a 1. They're just miles away from each other. That's fine. I did finish it off. Don't panic, Mark. I mean, it would be annoying if there was a clue like that I hadn't finished off, and it's not impossible, but it will just be annoying. Oh, this clue. There are 7 items on it. So it has to be divisible by 7. So far, in full digits, we have 20. That's not going to be easy. Let's just see what the candidates here are. Far too many of them. I don't think I can use that yet. That's such a shame. Okay, how about this row? 3, 1, 4, 8, 2. That's 5, 7 or 9. This is 5, 6, 7 or 9. This row goes with this row. They are left over together. 1, 3, 9, 4, 5. Ooh. So there has to be a 6 either there or there. Then the other digits we're looking at are 2, 7 and 8. Well, this one, that's a bit like a naked single. 6, 1, 4, 2, 3, 9, 5. That is 7 or 8. It's close to it. So odd that 2s were so far away from finishing. Oh, Mark, come on. Either that's a 6 or one of those. I can't see that. Okay, 1, 4. This was either going to be 7, 9 or both of them be 6. Well, if it was 7, 9, then in this extra row, the 6 has to be there. 6, 10, 15, 22. That would be with an 8 here. That can't be an 8. That can't be an 8. Right, this is not a 6. Because this 5 factor section, 22, is impossible to complete now. 27, 28, 29, 31. This is not a 6, but this putative row needs a 6, and it's got to be there. Wow, and now I can do this 4 thing. That's got to be another 6. So 9 there, 7 there. Now this needs to be odd for the long diagonal. That's not helpful. These can't have a 7 in. That might be helpful. This row, 6, 9, 5, 3, 1, 4. Everything else is 2, 7 or 8. So let's go up this 5 thing again. 4, 5, 7 is 16. These two have to add to 4 or 9. Oh, they can't add to 9 anymore. It can't be a 2, 7 pair. So it's not 4 or 9. They must add to 14. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, 8, 6. Okay. Couldn't be 6, 8, but it can be 8, 6. There we go. So this is a 7 in that crazy malformed row. That's going to do a lot, actually. We've got a 5, 9 pair here, so that's 8. That's not 8. 3, 8, 1, 4, 6. These can't be 6s. That can't be 8. In fact, this box, 3, 4, 7, 6, 1, 2. Oh, it needs an 8. Don't know where it's getting it. Okay, that's done. This 4 clue is not done, but I haven't got much of it. Still. Oh, how about this 3 clue? If that's a 7, that has to be 9. If that's a 9, no, if that's a 7, that could be 6 or 9. If that's a 9, I don't think this can ever be 5. No. And now this can't be 7, because that is modulo. No, hang on. It can't be 9, because that's modulo 3. So that's 7 as well. I hope I don't make a late error in this puzzle. That would be the most painful thing imaginable. That can't be 5. Okay. 8 is looking down at that cell. 7 and 8 are done. That's a 5 by Sudoku. I can't clear this up from the diagonal clue. I've still got that 4 diagonal clue to do, and I've still not got much of it. That's fun. This can't be 8. So in this row, so we need a 2. Is that? No, that's not done. Okay, how about your... Oh, this is a row. 1, 4, 3, 9. Ah, so, and these 3. So that has to be 7 now. That's not 7 or 9. We've got 2, 5, 6, 8 to place in this putative row. But that became a 7, so that's a 9, so that's a 5, that's a 9. That can't be 5, and I should have noticed that before. Never mind. This can't be 8. This is now known as a 5, and that can't be 5. This column, that's 2 or 9. Maddeningly not resolved. Pink box. Why are you being so difficult? 3, 4, 7, 1. I don't know. Okay, this funky row. 4, 3, 9, 7, 1. That's not resolved. Okay, let's go back to this 4 clue. We've got 5 and 8. They add up to 13. This is 2, 7 or 9. This is 2 or 7. So 13 plus those 2 to be divisible by 4. Well, that one is odd. No, it's not. Not necessarily. Oh, that is a 2 because it sees a 7. That's quite important. Right, try it again. 5, 7, 15 plus this. Can't be a 2. 7 is wrong, so it's a 9. 24 is the total. Right. This looks good. 8 there. Hasn't broken yet. This in the row is definitely 6. Oh no. Okay, I've got a 2, 5 pair. But they are going to be disambiguous. Actually, first of all, let's do this 9, 6 pair. They're done thanks to that 6. This 7 divisible thing is going to do this. 9, 14, 22, 30, 36, 37. Do we want a total of 39 or 42 to be divisible by 7? It's going to be 42. And there we go. That is the foggy pair rows. What an incredible puzzle. That's so hard to me. So hard. I mean, it's very clever. Those steps though with the 5, 6, 7. Oh, they really dragged it out of your brain, didn't they? I don't know. If you did that easier, that would be very interesting to hear about, but I think it's a very hard puzzle. Most entertaining though. I'm delighted to be able to have done it for you on the channel. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.